I honestly do believe that with the right mindset, you can achieve whatever you want, no matter what.
Getting rich is more mental than tactical.
You will never exceed your highest expectation.
Wealth isn't a possession, it's a mindset.
First rule of money is spend less than you make. First rule of money. Like, you don't need to listen to anything else. You don't need to do any investing. You don't need nothing else. The first rule of money is spend less than you make. The second rule of money is take what's left over and invest it in making more money. And I think the big piece, especially people who are starting out, miss out is that they expect that they're going to get rich as rich people get richer. And it's a different strategy. When you're starting out, you have to think about how you're going to make money while you're awake, not while you're asleep. Currently, you haven't maxed out your active, and the returns on active are significantly higher and lower risk than passive income opportunities.
To become a rich person, you don't need intelligence. He is needed, but not in the way people think. People overestimate knowledge and overestimate the value of intelligence. Of the 100% of financially successful people I have met, not all 100% are intelligent people. Not all, I'd say not many smart people among them, but all 100% are energetic. So these are the people who do make a mistake, quickly correct it, do it again, make a mistake, correct it, do it again. And they do it very energetically without losing enthusiasm.
Becoming rich isn't just about making money, it's about having the right mentality. Some people will wake up and live the exact same day on repeat. They will have their breakfast, take train to go to their 9 to 5. Nothing wrong with working a 9 to 5. They will finish their 9 to 5 and take train back home. Then will go to sleep and repeat it. Then there's some people, they will wake up, have their breakfast. Whilst they're having their breakfast, will think about, how can I make money? This isn't the way I should live life. Waking every day at 9 and working till 5. They will take train. Whilst taking train, they'll think about how they can make this money. I could start my own business. Then they will do their 9 to 5, come back home and go to sleep. Then there's just a little amount of people that will actually work on their business that they thought of. And those people are the people that aren't scared of risks. Those are the people that receive rewards. Those are the people that differentiate themselves from the others. It's not about making money. It's about having the right mentality.
You might be too smart for your own good and you don't even know it. Think about every business professor in a university. Technically, they're the smartest PhDs in business. They have no money because they overanalyze, they overjudge, they overcriticize, they know too much. If you want to be rich, there's only two things you need to have. One, an unreasonable amount of confidence, meaning that you are confident in your beingness and your decisions, outsized to any level of accomplishment. And two, the ability to take risks, what I call being fearless. Most wealthy people have both of those because of their ignorance. They start companies that they shouldn't have started because they didn't know how hard it would be. Very few rich people are actually smart. They're way dumber than you think.
You have to associate with successful people. You have to be in the physical space of other successful people. You actually pick up their energy and vibration. You watch and observe them, you listen to them, and you find out how they think, what they say, how they speak, and how they act. Because it's different. And I thought, where can I find wealthy people? I know a couple towns away, I grew up in Lynn, Massachusetts, which was a blue-collar town. There was Marblehead and Swampscott, that was the rich area. I said, there's a country club there, Tedesco Country Club. I'm gonna become a caddy because the only people that are members are rich. So I became a caddy and I started hanging around all these rich guys. And I thought, they talk differently than my father and all his friends. They think differently than my father and all his friends. And they walk and talk, and they walk and act differently. They have this aura about them. But I also realized they're a normal human being, just like my dad. It's really, the difference is how they think and how they talk, which reflects in how they act and how they see themselves.
I honestly do believe that with the right mindset, you can achieve whatever you want, no matter what. No matter what adversity you've been through, no matter what hard times you've had to go through, challenges, adversities, trauma, if you always have the right mindset, then you can do whatever you want in this world, I promise you. So what is our mindset? So your mindset is your perspective. It's how you see your situation, it's how you see yourself, it's how you see the world. And there is typically two different kinds of mindset. There is a fixed mindset, a victim mentality, and there is a growth mindset. And the differences are, So a fixed mindset is when something goes wrong, you blame everybody else. You never take accountability for your actions. You think that the reason why you're in the position that you're in is because of everybody else and everything else that's gone wrong. You blame other people, you don't take responsibility, you don't like to fail, you don't like to try new things, you just want to stay where you are. Whereas the growth mindset is that you take extreme ownership of everything going on in your life. When something goes wrong, you take accountability and then you take the necessary actions moving forward. You like to try new things, you're not afraid to fail. You want to take over the world. Those are the differences.
Getting rich is more mental than tactical. When I started everything, thought that getting rich was more about the technical side of things and different strategies and different this and different that, but majority of the battle is all mental. It's being able to handle rejection, uncertainty, delayed gratification, risk, failure, all things that mentally the average person up. And if you can't handle those things, no strategy is gonna save you. But if you can, eventually you figure things out.
The biggest trap young people fall into is that they spend their money wrong. And what I mean is that they're spending their money on the wrong things. They're trying to buy a fancy car to impress a girl. They're trying to buy fancy clothes with designer labels all over to impress their friends. They're trying to rent a penthouse in downtown Brickell because they think that's what a baller does. And that's all wrong. That's not what people did to get rich. What you gotta do when you're getting started is reinvest all that money into yourself. Invest it into education, taking courses, into networking, into buying books, into educating yourself, into getting to conferences and like-minded things. Like, for example, I go to all the real estate conferences. That's the most important thing you could do. Put all that money into those, and trust me, you'll have all the apartments and cars and fancy clothes you want one day. But start with investing in you first.
If you're young, your real only obligation is to make money. Everything else is extra. If you're under 24, forget about weddings and kids now. That's not your priority, unless you've already built the life that you want. And let's be honest, if you're still figuring things out, well, you haven't, especially if you come from a low-income family. Then you only really have one job. I want you to break the cycle. Listen, making money isn't about greed. It's about survival. It's about power. Because in this world, money is going to decide who speaks. And money is going to decide who stays quiet. It's going to define who leads and who follows. And that whole, well, money isn't everything thing usually comes from people who just never had it anyway. And that's why they just don't get it. With money, you get to choose how you live, what you do, and what you actually put up with and tolerate. And once I understood that, man, everything changed. Since I've been 25 years old, I've had one single mission. I want to build wealth, not for the flex, but for the freedom it provides. So where in the world do you start? Listen, clean up your circle. If your friends aren't talking about growth, goals, or money, or ambition, they're simply slowing you down. I want you to surround yourself with people who have already done what you're trying to do. Listen good. Listen more than you speak. Watch what they do, not just what they say. Money isn't just for cars and watches. Money buys you protection. It protects your family. It protects your future. And it protects, most of all, your name. You don't need to worship money, but you do need to understand it. Because if you don't, someone else is going to. And they're going to be the ones controlling you. Work isn't the enemy. Drifting and drifting away from it is. Every job is just a stepping stone. Just make sure it's taking you somewhere worth going. So I want you to ask yourself, are you going to be the one who decides, or are you going to be the one that waits for permission? I want you to choose.
You can't cut no corners. You can't go and you can't, it ain't gonna happen like that. There's only one way you're gonna get to it, and you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. And I did, I wrote raps, I wrote verses, I wrote songs for over a decade and had never earned a penny. Something I picked up from being around billionaires.
Right.
When you get to a certain level of money, it take all the pressure off you. Now you could just sit back and do what it is you enjoy. Man, life's short. Go harder than you did last year. Whatever you thought you did, it wasn't enough. And enjoy it even more. Go harder and find a way to enjoy it. That's when you mastered the game. Push yourself them extra reps. Go harder, have that extra 2 meetings that day, and find a way to enjoy it.
There's this awkward period between having no money and having some money where you need to be making money, not be spending it. That's how wealth accumulation actually works. But of course, the poverty mindset that I find myself in is wanting to accelerate my standard of living with my accelerated income, which is a fool's errand. But in order to not do that, I have to take the ego check and I have to drive this piece of junk, right? And my emotional self thinks that I'm back in poverty, right? There's a difference between being in poverty as a matter of societal function and being broke by choice. My prefrontal cortex knows that, inner self is still working on it. But if I'm to actually create any level of wealth, I need to understand that.
What's the difference between someone being rich and being wealthy?
That's simple. The guy who's rich makes a lot of money or has a lot of money in the bank, but he doesn't have financial independence. The wealthy person no longer needs to do it, no longer needs to go to work and wake up on Monday morning and decide to take a 6-month vacation. That's wealth. Rich means you have a big income, and there's a huge difference. It doesn't even mean the wealthy guy lives as good as the rich guy, because a lot of times the rich guy is outspending the wealthy guy, but the wealthy guy has peace of mind and he has the luxury of never worrying about where his next bill is going to get paid.
You will never exceed your highest expectation. You will never exceed your highest, craziest thought. Never. And so then why, other than you've been taught by your parents in conventional wisdom, to set low goals? The theory is you set low goals so then you can stair-step achievement, and you won't be as disappointed when you fail. But normally the person or the persons that have proposed that theory are poor.
So here's the number one mindset. A broke person thinks that there's a limit to opportunity and a limit to the amount of money out there, that there's a finite resource of money. They think, I just don't have opportunities. I've missed the opportunities. There aren't any more opportunities. I wasn't at the right place at the right time. I missed that chance. I don't have money, and it takes money to make money. I can only make so much. There's this limiting belief around money that poor or broke people have. Rich people, on the other hand, understand this, that money is a renewable resource, which means if they lose all their money today, it's no problem. They can create more.
Wealth isn't a possession, it's a mindset, which is why it so many people up. There's a big difference between wanting to spend millions of dollars and wanting to be a millionaire. They are not the same thing. And a lot of times people confuse the two things. Most people are consumers. They want to consume at a faster, bigger rate. So they want wealth so they can continue to consume. The whole system is predicated upon consumerism. Consumerism isn't the path to wealth, it's quite the opposite. Wealth is built by putting your money to work, not spending it. That's a big difference. And having a wealthy mindset means, we talked about this a lot, but it's learning how to take your time and energy, which when you're younger, you tend to have more time and energy, and you trade your time and energy for opportunities to generate wealth or money. And then you have one of two things you can do with it. You can either eat your seed, which I just jumped to farming if you didn't follow me, right? You can either eat your seed or you can plant it. If you plant it, it creates what? More. If you eat it, what happens? Done. So a lot of people stay in the rat race, they stay on the rat wheel because they're constantly eating their seed.
Whatever position in life you're at right now, if you're not where you want to be and you don't have your dream life, it is your fault. Every single thing is your fault because you manifested that since you were 12 years old, or even 6 years old. Whether it was limiting beliefs, whether it was not believing in yourself, no matter what it was, you led yourself down that path. And obviously, yes, you could change it and you can get rich, but the outer world is a direct manifestation of our inner state. Every single thing that is going through your head, I don't care if it's a bad thought, a good thought, it all matters. And if a thought lasts longer than 10 seconds, that is going to manifest. So anytime you get some sort of negative thought or some sort of limiting belief, you have to say no. And trust me, it actually works. Like, all battles are won in the mind. I always told myself I was lazy since I was like 14 years old, therefore I was lazy. So I literally had to become a millionaire in my brain to actually do the work. Because obviously if you're procrastinating, the only thing that's going to change is you have to become the version of yourself that is not lazy and not procrastinating. And that's what I did.
Is it harder to stay rich or to get rich in the first place?
Here's the thing, man. It is way harder to stay rich than to get rich. Because getting rich, that's only half the problem. Matter of fact, that's like 10% of the problem. 90% of the issue is going to be staying rich, staying relevant, and having money flow in for the rest of your life. That's hard. Because once you get a taste of that money, you start to spend it here and there. You do a couple businesses you feel good about because you got rich from one business. Those businesses fail, boom, you're done, you're clipped. You owe money in taxes now you forgot about, and next thing you know, everything falls apart. So staying rich is very hard. You see a lot of these guys come up and they got all this money coming in, and then a year or two goes by and they disappear. They didn't disappear because they got more rich. They disappeared because they went broke.
So they're talking about, should we get a membership here, which is $200 a month, or should we get one at Elevation Limited, which is $300 a month? And they're saying, let's just do it here. I told them, you must have never read the book Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. What millionaires think, and you got to think this way before you're a millionaire. You don't become a millionaire and start thinking this way. It's the way you do one thing, it's the way you do everything. It's never either or. It's if you like them both, you do both. Because that stems from a heart and a mind of abundance and not a heart and mind of scarcity. If you're thinking you have to pick one or the other, and it's something that is as cheap as $200 a month versus $300 a month, your whole mindset's off. You're thinking scarcely, and that's gonna hold you back from being a millionaire. The answer is both. If you like them both, figure out a way to pay for them both, because it's not hard, it's not that much. Everyone trains the biceps, everyone trains the abs, the chest, the legs. Not enough people train the mind and the FIO muscle. It's the figure it out muscle. Put yourself in a no plan B situation, back against the wall. Best place you can be is rock bottom. You got no way to go except up. And when the only way you have to go is up, you're gonna figure out a way to get up.
I have always looked at money as a tool, and I have looked at it that I can always go out and make more. So for me, everything with money has always been abundant, abundant, abundant. And listen, I have been at restaurants where my credit card declines for $100. Like, I have many stories that we can go back on from when I had no money, but I always was like, I'm gonna go out and make more. I'm gonna go out and make more. I always wanted to make my own money. I always wanted to have an independence around my money. And I think it really matters what your mindset is around the money and what your relationship to that is with yourself in your head with money. Listen to the way that you're speaking about money. Are you always saying you don't have enough? Your paycheck isn't enough? Are you always saying you can't afford that? Oh, I can't do that because I don't have money. Watch the way that you talk to yourself when it comes to money. I personally think that makes a huge difference.
If you don't believe you're gonna make money, you're not gonna make money. If you believe and know you're gonna make money, you're gonna get up every morning and do something to make that money. It's works. What they say in the Bible is faith with works. So you gotta have them, you gotta manifest it and go do it. You know what I'm saying? But the key to life is positivity.
A lot of people don't realize it, but you become rich in your mind way before you become rich physically with the material stuff, okay? It doesn't matter how hard you work. It doesn't matter how many skills you have. It doesn't matter if this, that, and the third. Bro, if you have a bad mindset, it's going to be hard to become rich. And that's just how it is, okay? Now, y'all know I don't really like to bring myself into things, but I remember when I first started my business, okay, I was going into that business with a terrible mindset with, oh, if it doesn't work out within a week, I'm gonna stop. Oh, that, you get what I'm saying? Just a bad mindset. I was putting in way more work on that business than I do now, and nothing was working out. Why? Because that mindset, okay? Ever since I started changing my mindset to think more like abundantly, okay? Trusting in God. You get what I'm saying? Realizing, hold on, even if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going. That is when things started to work out, okay? You become rich in your mind long before you become rich physically, and that's just how it is. I hope this helped. Follow for more, bro. You're welcome.
I was a millionaire before I was a millionaire, and I was preparing for my bank account. I was preparing for everything to come.
This is $1,000 right here. This is $1,000 in cash. And once again, that's the book of life. That's where that game at. But this is $1,000 in cash. I just walked out of the penitentiary Saturday morning. You understand? Saturday morning, I walk out the pen. I'm going to take this $1,000, right? And that game that I got, I'm doing all legit. I'm going to turn this $1,000 to 100 grand. I'm going to turn that 100 grand to $1 million. And I'm going to turn that $1 million to 100 million. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take care of my family, and I'm establish generational wealth. Let nobody tell you what you can't do, because if I could do it, you could do it, and if you could see it, you could be it. And it's real like that. That $1,000 right there. Remember I told you, I'm coming, I ain't playing no games.
And I'm telling you, you gotta be bold. I was cocky with my imagination. And I'm gonna tell you about how me going to prison from 17 to 37, it fortified my imagination. So I came back out with imagination like I was 17. But let me tell you about my imagination. I used to go downtown Philadelphia, the Four Seasons, one of the best hotels in the city. I go down there, right? I go to the bar, just give me a hot tea and a to-go cup with lemon and honey. Cause I'm like, it's on the top floor, I can overlook the city. I'm the man right now. Listen, you gotta know that you him, you gotta know that you her before you become there, before you arrive. So I go there, get my hot tea. Right after there, I leave, I go see one of these luxury condos downtown. Because once I realized that, hold up, I could go check out an apartment, luxury condo, I could go test drive a car, and I ain't gotta have no money in my account like that. Oh, it's on. So I'm just preparing myself for the lifestyle that I'm gonna live. So I go in there and I never forget, I'll be sitting back. So what do you think I should put here? And I'm taking my time. I'm not in no rush because I'm filling it in. Leave there. I go to the dealership, BMW, Benz, whatever. I want to test drive the most expensive car. Get in that joint, seatbelt on. Yo, hook the Bluetooth up because I need to play my music. I get used to this. You're like, what you thinking about it? I said, I'm thinking, man, let me go a couple more blocks. They on their phone, they don't even care. I'm just prepping, I'm getting ready. Be ready for the life. You gotta live inside the life that you want before you get the life. And you gotta live inside it right here.